Hello, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. I do hope you enjoy the music. You know, the funny thing is, I got my laptop today, and I'm like, right, okay, install the RAM, check, yeah, got the new SSD in there, yeah, check. Actually looked out because I had like a 3.5-inch drive sort of type SSD that was laying around. It's cheap as hell, but I'm like, you know what, that's another 500. It fits in, might as well put it in. So I put that in, and everything's good. Everything's good. I just forgot to actually buy a cable to transfer data from my actual desktop to the laptop. It's like I needed USB-A to USB-C. And I'm like, shit, I don't have one of those. So I went out to a shopping centre and I bought one. And it turns out it's actually just the adapter. So I've got USB-C, but then I need a USB-A to A. I'm like, oh, fucking damn it. So I've ordered a USB-A to A and a USB-A to C. Just 2 cables, just to make sure I don't freaking done goof again. So that would be rather annoying. Listen on Visa, because that's the UK Parliament. Ah, man, the fact that the Parliament is actually like that is superior. When they're friggin' sat down and they're all cordial. Ah, it's bloody ridiculous. Hey, Iceycrome, good to have you. Hello there, BGG. And Doom, good to have you. Right, so we're going to go ahead and get into the game in just a sec. I do have files from Admiral Dadman. We are going to address an issue in the actual scenario, which is that we do not have access to a certain type of radar. I believe it is for Japanese, and it's the one that we get the most of. So obviously it's fairly important for us actually to have access to that. So what he's informed me to do is run the replay. I can do whatever the hell I like afterwards, but save it, close the game, put the files into scenario, then I can run the game and it's fine. So we'll see here then. If you're happy and you know it... Oh god, what's it gonna be? But yeah, the funny thing is, I had, my little brother was playing on my bed behind me, on the laptop. He was playing Dawn of War Soulstorm with the Apocalypse mod, and he's like, oh my god, this is the best thing ever. I'm like, yeah, there's some irony in the fact that I bought that. I haven't actually played it yet. But I'm glad he's enjoying it. I'm glad he's enjoying it. Ah, dear. Okay. Indeed, clap, clap. Right, so we do occupy Great Nicobar. Now, we do have submarines moving out to Lagi, towards the Lagi end. So, it's unknown whether he'll bombard again, but he does seem to make something of a habit of it, so I expect it probably will happen again. So, I've got to be prepared for it. We're going to move one. I'm going to have construction units moved out to the Shortlands today. Yeah, Nicobar isn't that great. It does roll off the tongue there in a very interesting way, like Nicobar. So indeed, we'll have construction engineers moving south. Build up Shortlands. And they'll be good to go. And then we can start building up Tulagi in that area there. Essentially, what we're going to do at Tulagi is what we did at Rapal. And Relay. Hey, did that just good to have you? Yes. We've actually had a fair bit of luck so far with that. So that's quite nice. And this is shallow water, I can actually tell now, which is nice. Hey, didn't that just good to have you, man? How's France? I can imagine it's hot. I imagine the Netherlands is hot. I imagine it's hot everywhere at the moment in time. We've got like a heat wave in the UK at the moment. No, not yet. Not yet. Okay. So, Kinsoyo... Kinsoyo... out of base to be, but that's fine. A little bit rattling there of a sub. I am moving the actual submarines with the float plane south as well, so we'll have more float planes south so we can actually find what he might be doing there. Oh, that's interesting. So it looks like he's running a cap now. Ah, so I do actually have I figured it's 2 longer range submarines out that way. Possibly third. But it looks like they've actually picked up on some shipping out that way, which is quite nice. Ideal to be able to find something nice and maybe put a torpedo in. It'd be great if it was identified. I mean, if it was carriers or something, that'd be great news. Well, it'd be great news to know where they are. Not great news that they'd be headed towards Dutch East Indies or something. But we'll see. Okay, so we are bombing his forces here again. Okay. So this causing damage. It's not going to do a lot to him, really, but it's going to cause him problems. Ah, that's awesome, man. Yep, so everybody do go ahead and check out the BLeAcHACiD Gamer on YouTube. He's doing his own series, I believe. Do you stream on Twitch? BGG? I think you stream on Twitch, don't you? And YouTube? I can't recall now. Hey, down there, Hill. Well, we could try to impede supply heading towards Australia, but we can't shut it down because we can't go too far south of that. I don't stream on Twitch. Oh, only on YouTube. Right, okay. Yeah, so do catch the BLeAcHACiD Gamer on YouTube, where he's also streaming his own Warner Pacific game as the Japanese Empire. And your opponent is Rainbow Slash, is it? Right, I'm going to have these guys shifted out soon. We should have the actual engineers arrived over here at, is it Naga? Is it Naga or Naha? Naha is Okinawa, so that's Naga then. Yes, Lieutenant Rainbow Slash is his opponent. Hey, didn't that husband? Yeah, I know, right. Great to have you, man. Oh, do go ahead and check out the Big Board Gaming on YouTube as well. He's a great guy. And I really like the board games he plays. I need somebody to teach me how to play these board games, so I've got to get into his good books. God damn! There's a bit of cap over there, which is a bit annoying. That cost me a H6K4. I do not like that. Right. We'll have to watch it around a bit, and it's interesting though, because we've not had issues before, but I wonder if that's because there is something actually in that hex now. They're just drawing them there. I mean, well, they're shipping there. I'm not too sure. It's just probably running cap, I guess. Begs to the question, though, has he been running cap in previous turns? It doesn't seem like it, which is odd. Yeah, quite so far. But I mean, this is it. He's got to be up to something somewhere. He'll be prepared for something or some kind of eventuality. This one was sent to me by Infinite Monkey. I can't recall what the actual map is called. I have shared a link to it on the Discord, so you can download it, but I can't recall what it's called, actually. Prome wasn't built today. It makes me laugh. There's some turn names, I'm like, yeah, that's actually quite amusing. I was tempted to call this the Grounded Tigers. Right, so I-15 here being engaged by patrol craft. Now, we've got to watch out for that. It looks like he's going explicitly out here to engage, so we'll have to bear that in mind. Loses contact. Yeah. Right. Thankfully, the USN ASW isn't as effective as the Royal Navy. Oh, right, okay. Right, moving into the land attack phase. So we are deliberately attacking over here. So we had a tank regiment, 2 tank regiments, the tank regiment and the reconnaissance regiment alongside the engineer regiment. We do capture the base over here. It was only a base force. I could have taken that a few days ago, but I wanted to make sure we had an infantry regiment behind us. And an infantry regiment should arrive shortly. Need more torpedoes indeed. So there we go. We do not take any casualties ourselves. We inflict them upon the enemy only, which is quite nice. So what I'm going to do then is I have a regiment moving down to this hex here to secure this hex side. And we're going to move on forward and take control of these hex sides over here. What I essentially want to do is prevent him from being able to retreat in a way, anywhere and actually force him to surrender there. As we are attacking again over here, so we see that it's the 3rd Burma Rifles and the 1st Burma Brigade over here then, just north of Prome, well, northwest of Prome. It's slowing us down, because obviously it stops us from immediately chasing after the enemy. But in fairness, it gives us the opportunity to just beat up on them again. And did they both just get destroyed there? Yeah, so we destroyed 2 units outright then. That's pretty nice. Yeah, 641 to 1 odds. I think he gave us a close fight. But yeah, we move north now. Yeah, Burma's essentially doomed. I do have 2 divisions moving into the centre of Burma now as well. We do have tanks moving into Burma too. Ah, thank you very much there, husband. That's much appreciated, my man. Ah, that really means a lot. Thank you very much. I need to get my alerts sorted out on the stream so people can actually see that, but thank you very much, my husband, for subscribing at tier 2. I don't know exactly what that means, but thank you so much. Oh, so he's actually shock attacking over here at Ankang. I did give him a superior commander, so hopefully that will help out. But there we go, yeah. So, 1 to 2 odds again. We suffer only 104 casualties here, 8 disabled, 2 disabled, 3 disabled. He suffers 47 disabled here, 2 disabled, 1 disabled, 1 gun destroyed, 3 disabled. I mean, this... Oh wow, thanks very much, Haspen. That's much appreciated, man. I so very much appreciate it. I have expensive taste, apparently. But here we are. So, this is a good thing. Hopefully when I get the laptop viable, I'll be able to do streaming. It'll just ideally be a hell of a lot better. 1 to 2 odds, but 1 to 4. Well, this is it. I mean, he is causing us damage, but he hasn't destroyed squads yet. But this is the beauty of this position. I mean, we're using a third of division to actually hold up a very strong core. But this is it. It's working well for us. And each attack is going to see him using more supply. But he doesn't actually have, frankly. He's been cut off now for a... Well, I think this is the second day, technically, he's been cut off. So that's good news for us. So all in all, fairly quiet turn, really. Well, it has a lot of infantry. It just doesn't have a lot of guns, which is like what most Chinese cores are like. But the 66 is actually fairly good core, really. I think it has fairly good experience and morale. They just don't have that much in the way of actual guns for the most part. It's mostly mortars and etc. So what islands have you made part of the home garrison, or whatever it's called? Oh, general defense. We do have a Torofu in the north, and Paramashira Jima, Coco's Island, Loblen, Shortlands. I did consider Rabal, maybe one day. I mean, what we'll do is change pretty much most bases to that at some point, and that need it, or can make use of it. And there we go. So what I'm going to do here then is save, and then what I'm going to do is actually update the scenario files, as Dadman has said to do, and then we'll be able to continue, and we'll be good to go. Okay, over to. Looking forward to it. So, yeah, pretty quiet turn. We've had quite a few quiet times, but it does lead me to believe that he is doing something. I think if he was still in the Coral Sea with the carriers, he probably would have used them by now. He used them about twice or so. But even then, we don't know. We saw, well, yeah, we saw them used twice. When he came into Bombard, and then he came in and bombarded Ley, we didn't see any sign of carriers. That could have been a bluff. It could have been essentially like, look at this while I move my actual carriers out. Yeah, the idea of Boone is that we actually have them positioned. We're going to build up that airbase, sorry. We're going to build up Boone, and then we're going to move south. Yeah, make sure you have backup with the right scenario files. We'll do that then. Right, so we'll exit out of the game here. Not going to show any results as of yet. Keep you guys watching. Right, so that's the wrong thing there. So I'll make some backups then beforehand. Okay, so scenario. BGG getting anxious. Right, let me see which files I need to change out. Just be a moment here. So, move the WPD001 and WPC001. So, WPD. Right, so that's WPA. So, don't need to touch that one. WPC. So I'm going to make a backup of that one. Just cut that one for the time being. Oh, not cut. Delete, I mean. Right, so delete that one. And WPD. WPD. Copy that one. There we are. WPD. Okay. Now, transfer them over. Right, there we are. So we do have backups here. How you doing there, Shiva? Yeah. Oh dear. It should allow us then to have access to radar. How you doing there, layman? Good to have you, my man. Well, we have access to radar, but there's a certain radar upgrade that I believe wasn't actually enabled. So log back in here. Alright, yep. Yes, he did. How you doing there, G? It said failed to update, so I'll have to double check with that one. Right. So I think the one we're looking for is the Tachi 13, I think it is. Right, so it's on your end as well there, Gary. Okay, well, we'll have to ask him about that one. So it seems it hasn't worked as of yet, so we'll have to see about that and get that sorted. So I didn't miss anything once? Yes, you missed a turn. I am not listening, okay. Well, I'm gonna have to ask Dadman about Badman and just tell him that it said failed to update. But that's fine, we'll see what he says and then get that sorted then afterwards. But we'll carry on for now. Okay. Not too sure. Okay. It was a good turn, really, in the fact that, well, we didn't have anything go wrong, we had things go well, so that's quite good. Right, we are at liberty to actually march now. He does have these 2 units over here. It's interesting, really. It doesn't look like he's moving these units. Wow, it looks like we had really bad weather out here. Can somebody... I'm gonna have to reply here. Like, god damn it, Gary. There we go. I'm in full screen, so he knows I can't bloody tab out. So I've got to tab out, I mean. How you doing there, Dutchy? Yeah, we updated the map last turn, actually. I think it's a lot nicer, actually. It's a bit bright at first, but it does grow on you after a little while. Ah, that's good, man. Are we going to destroy those armoured units in Burma? Well, we'll try to, yeah. I mean, they don't really have anywhere to go right now. The actual map mod itself wasn't, but Gary did the coordinates over here. I can't remember who actually made it. I'll have to take a look at that. Yes, there we are. Right, so let's see then. Yes, we have fatigue disruption there. Okay. So I do have an element of the 3rd RTA crossing the river here. We are in malaria zone, yes, so we're not going to be able to recover terribly much. What I'm going to have to do here then... I could leave behind some tanks, perhaps. I think what I'll do is I'll leave behind the 14th Tank Regiment. That allows then the divisions to march on. But arguably... hard to say, because it's like one of these of obviously... Well, we'll have an RTA unit here soon enough, so I should be able to then move in additional units there soon enough. I just can't leave that hex open. Hey, didn't know that. Good to have you, my man. Yeah, I can't leave that hex open. Right, they're going to be there next turn, which is excellent. So we're going to have additional AT guns, which I can then shift up to. But I need to leave a unit behind here to actually hold this hex. So if I was to break that up... Yeah, they do have AT guns. How many do they actually have in total? 18. I'm going to leave behind the 14th Tank Regiment, I reckon. The reason being because it can catch up pretty quickly. It's only 2 days travel time, roughly, on the secondary road. Yeah, well, that's what I'm thinking there myself for. They're closed in, and we'll go ahead and we'll check on them in a little while. Right, so what we're going to do then is tell them to march. Actually, tell them to follow. Dhaka is an airfield level 4. All units need to strategically deploy in India through a single railway. If you got paratroops, you can cut off his troops from supply. That's pretty cool, actually, to know. He could still have supply transfer over, like, terrain, but yeah, it would certainly reduce the amount of supply he would get. You can't update scenario if it's... if update is to bases, land units on a map. It's future upgrades, that's what we're looking for there. We'll see, I'll ask Dadman about that. He might be able to fix it or something. Okay. Well, the AT might come in useful. He still has a tank battalion. He might look to actually use it there, really. Okay. Right, so let's put them into the correct mode. So they're going to follow. What I'll do then is have the 14th Tank Regiment remain behind then, so they can remain behind in... frankly, I could have them in rest and training mode. And that's fine. I could move them south into this hex in fairness, but it's like, well, do I want to do that? What's the actual hex? Jungle Rough. I mean, I could do that. I don't think he has very strong units here. What I'll do then... He's on secondary road, actually, so I think he'll... Yeah, he's on secondary road now. Yeah, so I think he'll arrive here then probably soon. Maybe a day or two. But saying that, actually. Even if I move in, obviously, he can't attack the first turn he's there. He has to wait until the turn after, so we'll see. If we can actually attack him in this hex, at least I can actually keep him in the clear terrain here. So I do have an RTA unit crossing over here. Oh, actually, that's going to cross next turn. That's a bloody good job I checked that. Yeah, destroying those tanks would be nice. I do have bombers actually waiting. I've just been trying to actually get an idea of what he has here. Ah, so there we go. So we do see he has 34 fighters and 18 auxiliary aircraft established at Chittagong. So that's where the Hurricanes will be based on other aircraft. He probably still has remaining Flying Tigers out there. Right, so we've seen that blasted force. Okay. Righto. So... The tank regiments are moving into the area. These guys are going to be marching onto this road here. What I want to do then is actually take command of this road so I can actually move across here and take another hex side. Issue is obviously the mountains. They would only move... they'd move, I think, 3 miles a day or something through Jungle Rough, or 5 miles a day. It's something really, really slow. So I don't think it's worthwhile doing that. But what I want to do is have something on here in case he does move into this area here so I can at least deal with him then. Yeah. Well, I mean, this is it. We can take this. I'd love to be able to reduce these bases. I would like to take these bases, but frankly, the focus is going to be upon China, so we'll have 2 divisions moved into Paoshan alongside the artillery. We can still go for these bases in the future. We'll just have to really see about how we want to do things. And once we do have the A6 and 8, we can actually deal with the Hurricanes in a much superior fashion. In fairness, I mean, if we take a look actually at the Hurricane, there is oil on the other side, and I do want to make sure we can push his bases back as far as we can from our own oil and Magway. But we'll see, we're not going to probably do anything immediately after we capture Burma. Right, so he's got the Hurricane 2B. So the Hurricane 2B there with the 30 cal Brownings. Once we do have the A6 and 8 that does have the armor, these guys are essentially rendered inert. It's kind of like a Key 27 attacking like a F1, F4. Sorry, F4, F3. It's like they're just not as good. He does have a trop with... Wow, that's a fucking big cannon. Jesus Christ. That's a big cannon. He does have some with some 20 mils, I think. I thought he had some with some 20 mils. I'm sure he has some with some 20 mils. But apparently those are 5 mils. Okay. Oh, I'll look at those later on. Oh, if you can check that, I'd be much appreciated. I imagine they're not particularly fantastic. And what plans do you have for Burma once you achieve your immediate aim there? Yes, we'll have the A6 M8 in about a year or so. Probably at the end of 1942, early 43, we'll have the A6 M8. Oh, maybe. The only thing the 40 mil will hit is the ground, but that's good to know. As far as it goes with Burma, we do have obviously the Jungle Rough out here. We do have these roads. Impal is an interesting base because it does have that level 3 airfield. What I'd want to do is essentially drive in back from this area. We could probably push into this area really, but we'll have to see how things go. The best way to take this area would be to obviously like land over here via amphibious means and then move in to take these bases, but we'll have to see how it goes really. There are a number of bases that are a weakness out here, and I reckon we could defeat him to a degree. It just depends on how things go. We destroyed the 17th Division, which was really good. We destroyed quite a few forces in Burma so far. If we can keep on destroying these units, then that's going to be quite good for us. That would be very good. There's not much in Burma that's essentially going to make it out of Burma. He has sent a tank battalion into Burma that I can't see making out. I'm looking forward to using my bombers against it, actually. It was probably worse for Dadman that 2 units in retreat. Well, I mean, this is it. It's units that do not escape. I mean, he might have a fragment of that unit somewhere, but who knows. And I wanted to have more reconnaissance over here, but it looks like we had poor weather today. Let's take a look at the actual weather here today. Not bad, it just looks like... Oh, we've got quite a bit of bad weather out here. Okay. Akiab is the door to India. The other way is blocked by mountains, yeah. Never landed at Chittagong. Well, this is it. We're not immediately going to go for that. Not immediately going to go for that. Once we can drive his air power back, we'll be alright. It's one of those. We could probably deal with it, but we'd have to go quite high there, really, and obviously bomb the airfield. But in fairness, as far as it goes for Burma, we're going to take these 3 bases out here. Well, we'll take these bases with the TIE forces likely, or what is required. Last year will be taken, and then we're going to move into China where the divisions are. Maybe, I'm not too sure. We haven't really much looked into beyond Burma because, well, the focus is going to be China. So the answer to what comes after Burma is China. So moving towards that frontier. Oh, 6 accuracy. That's pretty good. Okay. Right, so I do have my 38th division here. Oh, 5 accuracy. Okay. Right, I'm going to have them marched out there. So the other divisions here. If I was to put these guys onto the rail line, I think it'd be about 3 days. Oh, it's 2 days. It's around about the same time if I march. And if I march, I don't have to come back. And it'll take around about the same time anyway. So we'll have them march out there to Langthorn. Right, so we're still unloading here. They should ideally unload by the next turn. But we do have the 38th Division there. They'll have a little bit of time to recover somewhat before we do push in here. I do have my airfield over here at Langthorn being expanded, which is good. Ah, that's interesting. So he's moved a unit here. We've lost sight of the units out this way, but he did have... That wasn't there beforehand as far as I was aware. We do see it as actually moving in here. So 6 units. That can't be right, but apparently that's... Okay. But the good news is he has not yet arrived, which is good. I will have a... I could have a division in there. That's going to take a little bit longer there. We do have a brigade that will be in there next turn too. I may go ahead and leave a division detachment here. I think I will do that. Yeah, China's getting interesting. It's always been interesting, but it's especially interesting now. What I'm going to do here then is leave behind a division attachment. Sorry, detachment, not attachment. So I'm going to leave behind one of them here. The reason being, I do not want to allow him into a position where he can flank me. And what I want to do here really is essentially... I mean, we do see 4 units over here. So I will have 6th Division engaged. Right, it's times 2 train. They should be able to defeat that. But I'll likely have that broken up and then used to control these hexes here. Not anything I'm aware of with the paratroopers at this moment in time. Down to he has enough supplies to support fighting 2 places at the same time in China. Well, he has supply that are in the units. The units themselves do have supply to probably sustain offenses for a little while. He's got to be quite careful. Like, it's intriguing over here. He's got 15 units. He's got 141,900 men, roughly. And we haven't seen him attack. How you doing there, Stein? It's good to have you, man. I hope you are doing well. It's great to see you. My man, Stein. Man, Stein. Right, so I do have 35th Division. They will arrive next turn. So, this is it. We are increasing the amount of power that we have here, which is good. So, we'll be able to drive him out then with pretty high casualties. He did attack over here. Well, he shocked attacked against the 116/B. He didn't do a whole lot, but you can see that we are keeping ourselves supplied. He's going to really suffer there, because he's cut off. And it's not going to get any better. We did notice, actually, Infinite Monkey did notice this one. I hadn't noticed, actually. But you can see, this is what I like about this map, it's a lot easier to see what the train types are. But we can actually see that he's moving these units here. So what I'm doing then is actually taking a mortar unit from the main body here to march back north. This is a tank regiment that's going to march into here. And then using that division detachment to actually march into here as well. So ideally we can get some forces here, enough to probably hold him back, ideally. Because obviously we do not want to lose that hex. So if I have a unit move in there, and a unit move in here, ideally we get to here before he does. Then we can control that, and then he can't really do any damage to us. We do have these units that we're moving out. shortly. It may be worthwhile going ahead and attacking again. We do have 37th Division over here, which is marching north, so tomorrow they'll be here. 2 days they'll be here, roughly. I'm going to order another attack with these guys. They're not likely to kick them out, but if I can... Then there's always that chance that he might be forced to retreat, or it might use up more supply, or it might weaken him yet further. I just don't want him to hit these units, but these units should move out of here next turn. I do have the tank regiment, which should arrive in there tomorrow, actually. Yeah, I'll have it move in combat mode. So it's going to be in 79... Well, that's its objective. But it's following the road, so it'll be in this hex tomorrow, then. Yeah, it'll be in this hex tomorrow. We know what it has in this hex. It's all the units that were destroyed. It's about 100, 200 AV or so, something like that. Issue is we only have about 146 AV there. I do have a division marching north to actually give us a little bit more oomph to drive him out. What we want to do is essentially drive him out into the clear terrain out here. As you can see, this is clear, and then onto that clear terrain hex, we can actually defeat him. That'd be ideal. Okay. Right, so I do have this detachment of the 22nd Division. It's been all over China now. And what I'm going to do is actually have it moved out there, so when he does actually move in there, we'll have sufficient AV to kick his ass. And send him back. Is there any merit to laying siege to Yan'an? Well, the thing is with Yan'an, he does have a decent bit of AV. It's not that much, frankly, but I don't have a huge amount of force here. I do have enough to take that. But the way I'm going to do this is actually have the 7th Independent Mixed Brigade moved over to this hex here, so going to attack that unit. I'd like to move in here so I can actually get behind him and attack, ideally. And what I'd like to do is get a unit into Yan'an, so I could then have another unit cross into Yan'an. Ideally then not shock attack. We could probably still win a shock attack. And to be honest, it's one of those where it's not really a problem. It does have resources, but only 4 to 1. It doesn't have anything else. It's kind of keeping his forces busy for the time being, and I imagine they're going to be starving on supply, or they will be shortly. I'd like to take the bases out here so we can force them to surrender, really. That's kind of what I want to do here. Yes, this is where the communist forces would be, essentially. Okay, so we do have 23rd Tank Regiment here. So, we have a mountain here. I think I will... Well, actually, I don't know if I want to move into that hex. Right, we do have 10th Division. Well, that's it, isn't it, exactly? There's this base out here to take. I'm going to have that tank regiment sent out that way to pursue that once the regiment, once the division arrives here, so I can have like a detachment left there. But in fairness, I only need this unit over there, which is closing in on Langchao. So once the aviation units are here at Langchao, I can actually garrison that no problem, and then we can have the rest of the forces move out. But I will have tanks sent out to take that base, just because it'll take them significantly less time than anything else. Our tanks are moving on forward, which is good. 217 tanks here. So they'll be here tomorrow. Just closing in. More or less 1 hex a day. Sometimes we might get 2 hexes a day if we're lucky. If the stars align, essentially, and we get like a certain number. But likely 1 hex a day. Well, the thing is, there's not a need for it to be more concentrated. We do have divisions marching over here, but there's only 1 enemy corps in this area at Sining. And, well, that's it. 1 corps. That's not even the strongest corps. So we can deal with that, no problemo. We do have mixed brigades out this way if I'm going to secure this road line. He doesn't have a huge amount of force. It's not a priority to take Yan'an. Oh yeah, but even in mountain hexes, I mean, it's not that bad. Eventually he'll run out of supply. A mountain hex is ×3, not ×4. Only urban heavies ×4. And, yeah, I think it's only urban heavy that's ×4. But here we are, we're marching. So yes, we will arrive in this hex tomorrow then. I'm still looking at 1 unit over here to Gyanko. I mean, this is it. This is where things get real now. This is where things get real. Because we're going to be here tomorrow. Okay? So then it's roughly 4 turns to be here then. The good news is we are still marching. Well, we're marching to Gyanko. So we're not going to stop marching. So we'll actually retain progress. So we'll make good... It's still going to be about 3... It might be 3 turns. Depends on how much progress they have in here. If they have 16 when they arrive in here, which I doubt they'll have. But something like that. But we'll make it. We'll make it. Probably about 4 turns, and then we'll be... Yeah, so we'll be here next turn. Another 4 turns will be here. So March time will be here. And then, frankly, it's going to be fun. The major battle may very well be at Kianko. He's likely... He might be about here by now. He's going to be close. But I think we should be able to make it into this hex, ideally unmolested. And if we can make it into the times 3 hex, and then that's it. We just prepare then for the battle of Kianko, then that's brilliant news for us. Okay. Right. So they're running reconnaissance on Kianko. Now, they were running reconnaissance on this hex, but it looks like he's not actually here. Because they would have flown that, and if they'd seen something, they would have actually reported that. As far as I'm aware. Because I do remember setting them to that hex, so looks like there's nothing in that hex, which is good to see. So I could run reconnaissance over here, and I imagine he would probably be here. So we'll do that. Yeah, we do have reconnaissance aircraft in Xi'an, so we've got reconnaissance of Kianko. There's a little bit of reconnaissance over here that's obviously deteriorating over time, because we're not running it right now. Okay, we're looking good. Still repairing that oil in Xi'an, so we're at 12 now out of 20. About 8 more turns we'll have Xi'an's oil fully repaired, which is nice. It's a shame that we didn't capture it intact. Frankly, that would have been amazing, but ah well. Right. So 15,163 today, 6,950. Well, I'm not going to repair the refineries. I don't think we need to bother with that. Oil, yeah. But refineries probably not. C-47 Sky Trains is interesting. So he's using them somewhere, he might be transferring them. So he had a SunYan, a Mavis, and a G4 lost today. The Mavis sucks. And I don't like losing G4s because, well, I don't have a huge amount of them in the pool. We are building them, but I just don't have as many of them in the pool. So ship sunk today, nothing listed. Over here, I don't know. There's likely enemy troops even in this hex or this hex. I'm going to imagine they're probably in this hex right now. Okay. Yep. Oh dear. So I have 3rd Independent Mixed Brigade over here. That's heading out to Wujiang. That's good. I do have 26th Division over here. So yes, they're finally on the railroad now, so they're going to be heading into central China, which is nice. That's excellent. Right, we're looking pretty good. We do have the 51st Division over here, which was rebuilt last turn. I did it off cam, actually, because I realised that we could actually rebuild it. But there we go, we do have the mighty 51st Division. It's not a full strength division, but it's still pretty good strength there, really. How you doing there, Icky? Good to have you on stream, man. That seems like the first time having you here, so welcome. So yes, we have 433 AV there. I do have a Naval Guard unit moving in here. So the Kilgore 3rd SLF will be moving in there to actually garrison that. I do have the 11th Garrison unit. There we go. So they're not too far out from Manila, which is nice. The poor guy, Aichang. He's fine. He hasn't been attacked once. He's having the time of his life. They're protected by the fact of how useless it essentially is at Aichang. It's quite amusing, actually. I imagine we might start seeing level 2 forts soon. Yeah. I just can't imagine he's in a great situation there. He's probably low on supply there. All right. Cool. Cool. Have any forts building at Aichang? No. It's not worth it. Honest to God, it's not worth it. And the thing is, there, BGG, I'd rather him take Aichang, because I have to garrison this with 20 AV at least. If I don't have 20 AV there, I lose victory points every turn. It's got no industry, it's only got a level 1 airfield, it's worth jack all. It's not even worth holding on to, essentially. Does using bombard deliberate or shock? bombardment doesn't destroy fortifications, but deliberate can destroy fortifications, and shock attack can destroy fortifications. I believe deliberate can only destroy one level of one level of fortifications, but I could be wrong. I think it's shock attack that can destroy multiples, but I'm not sure on that. I'll have to double check. Honestly, BGG, it's not, it really isn't. It's just, honestly, just trust me on this, man. It's just not worth it. It's simply not worth it. Oh, that's cool to hear, Velicky. You just take my word, it's not worth it. It's one of those bases you just don't want. Okay. I mean, sure, he could use it like that, but that's in a protracted war. Now, I'm glad to hear that, man. I hope you do enjoy the game. It takes a bit of time to get used to it, but once you get used to it, then it's really well worthwhile. Right, so once we do have 11th Garrison unit in Manila, we'll be good to go then. I can actually have a 65th Brigade released from garrison duties to actually head south to link up with the 21st Division. The 21st Division, I'd imagine, would be able to take them with the 2 Sasebo units over here. That's good to have then. But I'd rather have more to make sure we do destroy him. I don't want to have, like, multiple battles. IJ and Chinese forces exchanged pleasantries at Aichang. Yeah, you take it. No, you take it. Please take it. No. No. Oh, he has his units over here. That's finally catching up. Awesome. If you attack with shot... No, you can't lose your own fortification. Right, so we do have supply on the way over here. Right, they're loading up supplies, so they have 2389. I'm gonna need a little bit more supply than that. I was hoping that they might have loaded up a little bit more than that. That's okay. Yes, there you go. So he's flying bloody cap over here, which is annoying. Thank you very much, Shiva. Much appreciated, my man. Oh, we saw ships down here. Ah, that's really dubious. That's somewhat ominous there. I didn't know Palmetier. Oh, yes. See, when I see people, I'm just like automatically welcome them. Yeah, it does make me wonder what that could be, actually. It's a good number of destroyers there. It seems like something of value there. Hey, dinner husband. And do you know the arrival date of a new CVL/CVE? Let's take a look then, shall we? We had a little bit of debate about this. So, Yunyao would be arriving in about 64 days, which is our next fleet carrier. As for escort carriers, we do have Unyao, who will be arrived in 26 days. The others are accelerated. Obviously, these ones over here I will accelerate as I get the ability to do so. Yeah, I know. So, what I plan to do essentially is regarding shipyard building here. Well, naval shipyard building. Yeah, we're right on the money. Actually, it looks like I'm over there. 410, 1410. What am I building here? I shouldn't actually be at 1410. Yeah, go for it, Parmentier. I don't give two shits. It doesn't affect me. Right, there we go. Now we're good. That's what I should have had done the other day. Yeah, so... Now we're sorted. Now we'll actually build up the amount of naval shipyard points. I did think it was odd, actually, but I forgot about that. Yes, we can also convert seaplane carriers into CVLs, as Paul has pointed out there. What I do intend to do then is, well, we're going to have Yamato in 89 days. That's really nice to see the actual time ticking on down there. When Yamato does arrive, it will free up a good deal of actual naval shipyard points. I do intend to use those points to actually allow for the acceleration of potentially one of the later war carriers, potentially however many we can manage, really. We'll shift things around as best we can. I mean, obviously I could save points by not having Shinano, but I do believe it is worthwhile having Shinano. She doesn't have a huge amount of aircraft, but then again, we have carriers that just that don't have a huge amount of aircraft anyway. Take a look over here. We're going to put whoever the hell is the best at the time in charge. Let's see, so 72 aircraft here, 71, 63 there, 72, 71, sorry, 72. I'm reading the wrong number, even number to the left, not the number to the right. So yeah, she doesn't have as many aircraft as the other carriers, but frankly, she is a converted Yamato. She's bloody tough. When can we start building MTVs and PTs? Well, that's a good point, actually. I could probably do that elsewhere, like, obviously, I believe over here at Singapore. Actually, no, I can't. I think it's like, I didn't realize it was actually, map-wide then. That's interesting. Can I not create them anywhere? Okay, so it seems like it's a few days between being able to create them, it seems. I'll have to look up how you actually create them. So it looks like there's a gap in time between creating them. Okay. Or maybe you need to get them in the pool. I'm not too sure there. Yeah, Shiva says every carrier counts. Well, if Tokyo can't do it, then I don't imagine Hong Kong can. Nah. Okay. Now, Genny had reminded me, Infinite Monkey had reminded me about I was still moving a detachment of a unit over here, when in fact it actually filled that need that the unit would have been used for already and had forgotten. So I'm quite glad they reminded me there. Okay. But no, Shinano will have her use. She will be useful. So if we go over here then, back to our carriers, if we take a look at certain characteristics which are worthwhile taking a look at. Let's take a look. So cargo, durability. Cargo's actually pretty damn durable, 134. You can see the hero is only 61 durability. Soru is 56 durability. Shokaku is 90. Zuikaku is 90. Akagi is, well, Akagi is 128. So, Karga is the most durable 134. She's a tough old bird. Now, Shinano is essentially going to be the damage choke. Shinano has a durability of 157. She has 210 belt armor, she has 75 deck armor, which is not the most. There are carriers in Japan that do have more deck armor, by another 15 I believe, which are later carriers, and 25 tower armor. Well, that's it really. But the thing about Shinano is she's tough. She doesn't have a great complement of aircraft, but that's fine. I mean, essentially what we'd do with Shinano is have her filled with, like, fighters, essentially. Yeah, Taiho. I think that's the one with 90, isn't it? Yeah, Taiho has more deck armor. But Shinano's a tough old bird. Yeah, the AA rockets are interesting. I don't know exactly how effective they are. The issue is obviously they only have 5k range. It's like, is it really worthwhile? Yeah. They're just... It's kind of too late to that point, really. It's kind of too late. You only have one usage of them as well. Yeah, nice fireworks. And we have radar on the carriers. That update didn't work for some reason, so we'll have to sort that out. It was for ground-based units. The carrier radar is fine. There we go. Yeah, I do like the Taiho. Oh Jesus, Sea-Level Rockets is 18, yeah, it's not even worthwhile then, is it? Oh dear. But yeah, oh there you go, she has 95 deck armor, which is actually pretty good. Maybe so far, but the thing is I'd rather have 3 carries than 2 carries slightly earlier. I mean, obviously not slightly. You could probably get like some decent acceleration, but I'd still rather have 3 carriers. Shinano does have her use, and she will be welcome in the fleet. Okay. Now, that's good to see then. So I do have my actual units over here. They shouldn't have had that much supply in all honesty, but that might come in useful, to be honest. So we're going to have that set up with aviation support over here and Nivotok. And then what I can do is actually get some Dinas out here to actually start running reconnaissance over Wake. Once we have reconnaissance over Wake, I can actually decide what we will send to Wake. In terms of ground forces, I don't want to have a situation where we go in and we can't actually take it. But once we actually have reconnaissance to actually decide what we do need, then we're going to be in a better situation for it. Okay, so we're still getting that damage in, which is nice. 5 units still. Now, I had hoped to actually intercept his cruisers over here, since we were not successful there, which is a shame. But we do have his submarines actually going ahead. They're going to be essentially used out here to Largate to defend. Oh, it looks like the construction units have not yet moved out, it seems. Ah, fuck's sake, I forgot to tell them to not load supplies. God damn it. Ah, I always do that. Ah, fuck's sake. Okay, well, that's going to slow us down a little bit. I can't have them move out, because if we have one ship hit, we might lose potential 3k supply. It's not worthwhile. I could probably move 47th, so I can take 47th. That's not bad. Oh, never mind. I can... No, I'll take these 2 elements, and I'll take the 2 AKLs. The rest will have to be unloaded. Yeah, I'd imagine so. I hate that. Yeah, we can't have that much supply move out. Yeah, and this is it. Didn't even notice that one actually. It's a good spot. Still one out here to take two. Makes the pain in the ass. I doubt there'll be anything like a battle of Midway. I mean, if there is, I don't think it'll go his way, ideally. Right, I need to upgrade your aircraft. Well, I need to give you an aircraft, I should say. I think you just actually... Yeah, that's the... Yeah, that's the issue. We need to get an actual aircraft on board her, then, so we'll have to find one to go on board there. Right, so we do see he's actually hunting us out here, it seems, so we'll pull them back. It's not that... I mean, it's one of those. It's like, you've got to... Okay, so look at it this way, like, look at the distance between Wake and, let's say, Truck. So, Truck is 29 hexes from Wake. Wake is 49 hexes from Pearl Harbor. I'm on December 14th, 1941 at the moment. Hong Kong has fallen. I blame the US. Very complicated. Oh dear. I'm going with a 5-year-old and 8-year-old at home will make me an alcoholic. Oh, have fun there, Stein. You're gonna have to get one of those beer steins, aren't you? Yeah. Yeah, the thing with Wake is, it is a pain in the bloody ass. He has used it well. He's good like that. He bloody is well good like that. The issue is that we had in the past is the fact that he could see us coming, and by the fact that he could see us coming, he had forces essentially waiting for us to come, and then he'd whack us. So the way we're going to go about this then is, it's going to be quite the operation essentially. We're going to have aviation set up over here. So I can actually go ahead and have Dina's run reconnaissance over Wake Island, so I can actually figure out what the threat is. We'll go ahead and probably move like an aviation koi out here, or an AV over here to Tangi. And then what I'll be able to do is have the E13A1 Jakes actually run ASW in this area. And other alternatives, we might have AVs potentially run the ASW from mobile platforms. We'll go in and bombard Wake Island with cruisers likely. DMSs are on station as well. I do have additional DMSs coming too. So we'll collect the mines. What I want to know, essentially, is what the size of the threat is on the island. I don't need to capture the island per se. Bombarding it and then rendering it essentially useless would be good enough. Taking it obviously would be preferable, because then that would eliminate the threat. But destroying the airfield and port would still not be a bad outcome. But I think we'll be able to manage it. Alright. I'm not sure, we'll have to see there. What planes do you have on Roindamar? Can you reconnaissance the base while reconnoiter the base? We have the H6 K4s. As far as it goes, the H6 K4s, I prefer to have them use naval search. The pilots themselves aren't that great at reconnaissance, as you can see there. The best we have is 42. Now, if we take a look over here... Yeah, the Dina pilots over here, 64, 63, 64, 58, they're just better at their job. Like, that's what they're meant to do, that they are reconnaissance pilots. That's what they do. So it's better to have them. Let the flyboys actually stick to the naval search, which they're good at. What happened to the two benches that were there on turn 1 for wake reconnaissance? Huh? I didn't bomb Wake on the outset. I don't particularly regret that. Maybe it might have made a difference, but what he did was he obviously had the Wildcats, and I think he moved additional Wildcats into Wake using the carriers. He got us at Wake because, well, we weren't prepared for what he did, and I think, well, we had that confusion as well regarding, are we going to see carrier conflict? Are we not going to see a carrier conflict? Well, a carrier battle, I should say. And it's one of those, we got caught up, and the second time, yeah, it was just, he knew we were coming, he had the carriers waiting, and he just came in, smacked us, and just left. Well, I say just left, he came fucking down south, and that was a lot of fun. So Wake is going to be one of those islands I'm looking forward to taking. But for how dangerous it is, it gives him an ability to look into the Marsh Islands, but in fairness, there's not that much going on in the Marsh Islands, but then I don't want to have him given an outpost. Yeah, I know they're just, but the thing is, it's like, we did try to actually take the carrier battle, but he didn't. He's wily. No, going for Midway would be insane. You've got to take Wake. Midway's not worth... I mean, this is the situation here. Wake is untenable for him. Essentially, what happens is once we do have a proper operation put together to take Wake Island, like as I said here, look at the distance here. That's 29. That's our major logistical base in this area. Okay, so his major logistical base in the area is Pearl Harbor. Now that's 49 hexes away. That's far. Now Midway is 30 hexes from Pearl Harbor. Midway is 55 hexes away from Truck. We can't do much at Midway. We could bomb it, but bombardment would be more effective. I could potentially have G4s or G3s run bombing campaigns from a naval talk, but frankly, we'll be able to go in, we'll be able to take the island. We're going to have reconnaissance soon here enough, so we'll be able to find out what he has. Yeah, Midway's in the middle of nowhere. It's not that useful, really. That's how close Wake is. Oh dear. Alright, okay. So a lot of the supplies over here, then I'd like to get them moved out. Yeah, that's a tripwire, essentially. Right, so additional supplies arriving now at Marine next turn. That'll give us enough to be able to finish building it up, I imagine. It seems that we are pulling supply from elsewhere here as well, which is good. Okay, so 35 out of the 46-mile journey there should arrive there soon enough. Maybe 2 turns there, I imagine. 1 or 2 turns. You've got it. You love the B-17s, don't you, Just? Don't worry, man. He could build it up to size 4, but the thing is, he's not going to station something like that awake. It just doesn't serve him much good. You know how to push my buttons there, don't you, just when it comes to the heavy bombers? We'll talk about Darwin and heavy bombers next. Oh dear, never change. Indeed. Right, now they will arrive here at Magway tomorrow. So Imperial Guard Division is making good progress. It looks like they will arrive there tomorrow. Oof. That's rough. Right, so we do have the RTA over here. They're marching. I want to make sure, it takes a long while, but I want to make sure we take this road here. The end of the Japanese fleet, okay. Okay. Right, so we do see that tanker there. Okay. Let's see if we had any advancements here today. Ideally we did. Oh no, actually I think we advanced the last one that would be done quickly, so I think there was at least 3 there. Oh, that's good. So they actually made one today as well. That's nice. Good. Okay, excellent. Yeah, because the capsized from laughing too hard on the bomb misses. I like that. Okay, so we're at 18% here on the A678 progress, which is nice. Obviously, when we get to 100, it brings it forward. And then also we just have to keep doing that and bring it forward until we arrive. Okay. Well, we're making our progress. Ideally, these repair tomorrow as well, and ideally they repair the day after. It would be nice to get more roofie into the A6M8s here. How are the defences and Kurils holding up? Well, to be honest, we have been reinforcing the Kurils, which is quite nice. Paramashiro-jima does require more supply, so I am readying more supply over here to be moved to Paramashiro-jima. But we're closing in on a size 4 airfield, which is quite good. I mean, this is general defense here. I'm also building up a Todoful, which is at 19 into 2. So it's going to take a fair while, but it can be done. Now, something that I'm looking forward to using then is the fact that we do have a little Andaman Island over here. Now, once we do get the G3M3, which is excellent, because that has a normal range of 21, we could actually go ahead and... Well, we're going to build Little Andaman Island up anyway, but what we're doing is actually establish naval torpedo capability here. We'd build it obviously before that, and then we could go ahead and actually strike at Colombo with torpedoes, which would be nice. That would be good. What kind of threat do you expect to come in from the north to build up a Todoful? It's one of those of, well... He could move there. He could. That's the thing, he could still do it. So we have to bear that in mind and build it up. It's useful as well, because if we do... Well, it strengthens Japan, really. Which is handy. I do want to take the Aleutians, and I do believe the Aleutians will come after we take Wake. That's going to be the essential pace of the operations. Yeah, I want to get the construction units moving there. In fairness, at least I'm getting like 2 halves of a unit moving, give or take. We still have... Well, we have engineers over here already. I could fly some engineers in if necessary as well, so we'll get them moved down there. Right, there's still loan supplies. Greater buggers, you don't need all of them. Okay. Right, so nearly at level 3 fortifications here at Rabar, which is nice. Lay shouldn't be too far from being repaired. Yeah, so 3 more damage repair. So it looks like they're repairing about 2 damage a turn then, roughly. Which is quite nice. We're at 92% over here at Nadzab, so nearly at level 4. Over here at 60% at, well... Ooh. Not too far. Now we're looking pretty good then, frankly. It has been a relatively quiet time because, well, we have things more or less just getting to where they need to be. He's being cheeky down here. I think he's looking for openings, which is interesting. I do somewhat fear for this area because I do feel like this might be the next area he strikes at. We've seen that he's been... it's been interesting down here. Nice to see if we held here. Making progress. Right, so we do have 10th Division there. A headquarters there. I don't know if I'm going to need the headquarters, but it will be useful to take Sining. And Sining actually has a good number of resources and some nice light industry, which is good. It does have a garrison requirement of 40, so we'll have to leave something obviously sizable to garrison that. But what I'll do is eventually move with some Chinese forces to garrison that, so it'll be quite good. We're looking pretty good then. Aye, looking pretty good. So, Java. How you doing there, Dravaros? Good to have you, my friend. How are your sea/ocean supply lines? They're pretty much fine at this moment in time, really. We've not really had a threat to them. They are mostly covered by naval search on the long way down. Yeah, finally closing on sort of iron, indeed. Looking forward to that. Okay. Right, let's take a look then. So he's retreated then to the clear terrain. So we do have the ×3 there, that's fine. So I own this hex side over here, which is good. He has units in here, 12 apparently, which is interesting. Bad detection today. Okay, good, he hasn't detected that, it's nice. I don't know what the range is, but you've got to remember as well, sure he can bring B-17s, but we are going to have A6 M8s defending and other aircraft as well. So it's not like it's going to be easy for him. That's the thing to remember. He's having to fly all the way out there. We'll have cannon-armed aircraft, and yeah, they're tough. But we are going to have a number of fighters. It's not going to be easy for him. So, for the love of God, do not think it's a one-way situation here. I think it's a B-17. E, I think it is, perhaps. I think he has a couple Gs. When is that one? So that's a late war B-17, then okay. B-17F. He might have the F. The F is 13 to 16, so that's a shorter range one. B-17E is 15 to 18. B-17D is 17, 22 extended. Yeah. So 22 from Darwin. He'd be within range of the oil fields over here. Which, okay. We'll have to manage that. He's well outside the range of BLeAcHACiD. He's outside the range of sort of... I think he's essentially outside the range of Java for the most part. He has E's and D's, okay. Whoops. I was doing there, Shiva. That's great, man. Hopefully the sun will not set on you, my friend. Oh, God, that's cringe. Have a good night. Okay. Right, so the E's then have that range of 18. Yeah, so 22. He's not going to have that range then to hit Java. Or BLeAcHACiD. He could hit these oil fields out here, but obviously we'll just have to make sure we deal with them. But in fairness, I do intend to take Darwin at some point in the future. It's just going to be one of those things. But in fairness, he doesn't have that much in Australia. Eventually he could move forces to make it difficult for us to manage, but I can't see that happening for a good long while. We'll see. Of course he's going to have a lot of assets, and of course they will come and inevitably defeat us, but this is it. He's got to get to that point first, and we'll not make it easy. We'll obviously not go easy into that Dark Knight. Darwin is a level 3 airfield now. It could obviously be built up to size 8 airfield, but he's going to get those assets to do that. He might have started to build it up, but in fairness we could move in and take Darwin. I do intend to take Darwin in the near future, so if he does take that, that's a nice little gift for us then. Okay. So, I do have my division being loaded up over here then, with the headquarters too. Yeah, so they are being loaded up. Excellent. And they're shipping out now. Oh no, they're still loaded, sorry. .48. Not that, well, there's a fair whack of them left, but not that many. What I'm doing with the artillery is I'm going to have the artillery march back to Clark. Evidently, I can actually have them picked up from Clark. So I had the AKs moved over here, actually, to Clark. Yep, that's additional sea lift capacity moving in there. We don't need that quick, we'll be able to get that. Once we take it there, just so you're still going to be worrying about it as much. Oh dear. Oh, looking good. Right, so I do have that AV moving in there. Right, so that's about 9 with 1 disabled. Ideally, that gives us enough to actually satisfy the garrison requirement. Just pain in the arse. Ah, Fuji has returned to service at long last then. That's nice. Good to have her back. Yeah, Luzon's almost done. And there's only 2 Filipino divisions. I do have a division there. It's got a lot of disabled, so I wanted to move a 65th Brigade in there, just to make sure we don't lose too much. I just want to make sure we take it, ideally first attack, force them to surrender. That'd be nice. Right, just expanding Calcutta, okay. Okay, so we have a new Naval Guard unit there at Tokyo. But we do have a need for those units elsewhere, actually. I'm not too sure, actually. It's a good question, really, isn't it? I know we destroyed some Australian forces down at Singapore, but I'm not sure really about the Allied order of battle, really. Okay. I'm actually seeing fighters over here, which is intriguing. I wonder if those are fighters that are just damaged on the ground then that can't be moved out yet. Possibly so. Yeah, that's the best way to kill an Allied division, is at sea. Right, so we do have a 7th RTA/B. I do have 25th Army there. They're marching north to Magway. I can have them begin to plan for Magway. Oh, it's start off map, right, okay. Oh, yes, are they ones that come from the Middle East? Right, we do have our artillery here as well. So they're not too far from Magway. It'll take them about 3 or so turns, give or take. Yeah, 3-4 turns, something like that, depends really. But we're making progress, we'll be there soon enough. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and call it about here then. So thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you have, please do go ahead and subscribe. That'd be much appreciated. Follow myself here on Twitch. That would be very much appreciated. I hope to see you again in the future. I assume in SI? I assume... Yeah, I assume in SI. I assume in SI. I assume in SI. I'm going to get used to it. But the cool thing is I'll be starting with the degree this year. Well, in about 2 weeks. I'm starting on the 21st or 28th. So, my Japanese will get better. I'll be able to say more. And then one day you'll come in, and the streams will be in entirely Japanese, and I'll just fuck with you guys. That amuses me. See you later, guys. Have a good one. This is like the credits that don't